Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new then hi, my name's Caitlin and I've been on a panning kick recently. I've been binge watching Pan That palettes, pan those eyeshadows, project pans. I've been down a rabbit hole and I've been inspired to do my own. So, some of you may be a little bit confused. This is my Pan That palette. Now I haven't done an intro to this project just because I find intros really boring. Like, what am I gonna say? I'm panning this. That's it. So I've just jumped straight into just under a month's worth of progress on this, and I'm just kind of gonna explain a few little odd bits that I'd probably say in the intro, maybe in this one. But yeah, I've got some really good use. I've got before and after pictures, and yeah, it's gonna be so exciting. But just before we jump into it, if you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe. It really helps me out and it just pushes me in the algorithm and it lets other people see this video as well. So thank you. So as I said, we are trying to pan the Soph X Revolution palette. This is the original. I wanted to pan this palette just because it's really old and it was not getting any use in my collection. Like, this palette I think was the dustiest in my drawer. I used to really love this palette when it first came out and I have fallen back in love with it. I really have. So this is my main look that I've been doing with it. I really like this. It uses a lot of the shades, but I'm going to talk about looks a little bit further in the end, as well as goals for this next month. But I know you're all wanting to see the palette, so I'm going to put up on the screen what it looked like when I first started the project. It was quite used and abused, it really was. We did have one pan in the shade Tiramisu, I think, and yeah, it was very used and abused. And today, are you ready? This is what it looks like today. Now, as you can see, we've got some really good progress. Like, I was not expecting this at all. So as I said, this shade did already have pan in it when we first started this project, so we don't really count that one. I have been using it though as a bronzer. I'll talk about that a little bit later. We also have pan in Pancakes, which is this base setting shade. We also have pan in Fairy Lights, which I've been using as an inner corner shade. Not today, I've switched it to this one. We've also, these two were such a surprise, but we've also hit pan in Pug, which is this more cool tone brown here. It's only a teeny tiny pan, but it's pan nonetheless. And we also have pan in Nightmare, which is the black. I love using black eyeshadow. I know so many people hate black eyeshadow. I adore it. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through, these two. I should probably talk about these two. So these two shades were shades that I knew I wouldn't use. They were like a bright pink and a bright orange. I don't use them shades, and I know that trying to pan them shades were just going to be not fun for me. So I didn't want to waste them. So what I did is I mixed them together and made a Franken blush, which is this shade here. How pretty is this blush shade? So originally, this is the Huda Solstice palette. Originally this was a cream highlight, but it looked almost green on my skin and I hated it. So I literally just scooped it out and put it in the bin because, that shade, that highlight shade was not good. No. So I just scooped it all out and repressed a blush, and I love, look how pretty this shade is. I'm going to use that blush so much more than I would ever use them eyeshadows, and I get excited to use that blush instead of using two eyeshadows I just don't like. So yeah. So I'm going to go through the palette. I have tallied my uses on this because I'm so organized. I've tallied all my uses for each shade. I did say, I think, that this hasn't quite been used a month yet. It's just under a month, so maybe not as many uses as I would like, but I do want this project to be in the middle of the month because my project pan is at the end of the month and I don't want to overload you guys with panning. Okay, so this white shade up here is called Penguin. I used this 14 times and I use this to kind of brighten under my eyes. I didn't use this as an eyeshadow per se. I just used it under my eyes just to brighten a little bit, and I really like that because I wouldn't really know what to do with a matte white anyway. I like a shimmer in my inner corner, so that's just how I've been using it, and it's got a little bit of a dent. I am using quite a dense brush for it. Let me find the brush. This is the brush that I'm using, so it's going to take a while to hit pan, but that's how I've been using that. Pancakes I've used 15 times, and that's every single time I did my makeup this kind of month. Not really, but you know what I mean. Yeah, 15 times just to set my eyeshadow base. Pretty standard, really. Fairy lights here I used 12 times, and I used that as an inner corner highlight until I hit pan. And then I went and I used, which is this pink champagne, which I used 6 times as well. I also kind of played around with it on the lid a little bit as well, but yeah, there's a little bit of a dent going in this. I don't think we'll get pan for a while. Pink just isn't really my shade, so. Iced coffee I used 7 times just to kind of blend out some stuff. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, so it's just really nice to just blend everything really nicely. And cup of tea I also used 7 times. I use this as my last kind of blending shade for my crease, if that makes any sense. Okay, going up to the golds. Now I have a bit of an issue with golds. I don't really like having 3 golds that are quite similar. They are different, but so Grow Old I actually didn't use at all, and that's because I'm focusing on Sparks Fly, and I did use this 7 times as well. I'm using this on the lid today. So yeah, I think I'm going to focus on this shade and then kind of move to the other golds. Just 3 golds isn't really it for me. Smoky bronze, again, I didn't use. So mixed berries, I used this 3 times. I used it twice as a nail varnish. My nails are awful today. Some of them have chipped off, but this is what it looks like on the nails. Wow, my nails are so bad. I need to redo them, but that's what it looks like. I also used it with pink champagne on my ring fingers, which looks really nice. Tiramisu I used 3 times. I use it more as a bronzer because a little bit of a spoiler, in my project pan I do have a bronzer and I completely used it up. So be sure to subscribe to see my project pan come in towards the end of the month because I've completely used it. I cannot use it anymore, and I thought I'd get use out of tiramisu while I was at it. Peaches I used 8 times, and I used that as a blush most of the time. Sometimes I used it to blend out the red, but most of the time it was a blush for me, and I really do like that blush. So these 2 are obviously that Franken blush, and I actually only made that Franken blush yesterday, so I haven't really got much use out of that, but I will be using it this next month. Pumpkin I didn't use. Pine Tree I used once in a very smoky look. Like, I'll put a picture of the other go-to look that I did. I used Nightmare, then I used Rosewood, and then Pug in the crease, and then I put one of these more like colourful shades on the lid, and it was just so nice. I loved that look so much, but not really every day for uni. Petrol I only used twice. I really don't like the shade. I really don't. It just comes off as like this muddy brown on the lid, so I do top it off with this little Barry M topper, and then, you know, that fixes it a little bit, but I will try and get some use out of that. Pug, obviously with Hit Pan, I've actually only used this 4 times, but I use a lot of it, and I did a look last video. It was like a really big winged out smoky look. I use this shade so much in that just because I love to really blend it out and make it really smoky, and it did have a huge dent in it anyway, so yeah, I used that 4 times. Got a teeny tiny pan in that. Danger I only used once. Yeah, I only used it once today. No, I must have used it twice. I used it twice. I forgot to tally today because I have done this look before with the red. So yeah, I used this twice. Slow progress, I know, but we'll get there. I have been panning a Colourpop red, which is very similar to this shade, so I think the Colourpop one has kind of taken the spotlight, but this one, you know, I've panned that Colourpop red. Again, a spoiler for my project pan, but I have panned that Colourpop red, so this one is next on the list. Again, blush. Festive Flame I only used once. Again, these like red tones are quite hard for me to pan, but I will incorporate them sometime. Copper Coin, didn't use. Mug Cake I used 7 times. You can see there is quite a big dip in this. Before this project, there really wasn't any use in these, like, well, in these 2 especially. There wasn't any use in them, so I'm very happy to have a dent in it. Rosewood I used 4 times. There isn't really a dent in this. There's like the tiniest little kind of Disturbance, but yeah, that's gonna take a while, I think. And then finally, Nightmare I used 12 times. So I might have used this as a liner or all in my crease, but yeah, we have hit pan in that and I'm so excited. I have actually made like a companion palette to the Soph palette. These are just more colourful shades that I think are kind of missing in the palette. So these are the two. I'm not trying to pan this palette. I'm not. I won't pan this, but it just kind of goes along with this guy in case I want to do a more colourful look with the colours in here. I think it really goes really well, and I've actually got a blue that works, so that's handy as well. But yeah, I'm not trying to pan this at all. It's just to kind of go along with it in case I want to spice things up a little bit. Okay, so my goals for this coming month are to get like proper pans in Nightmare and Pug. Obviously they are panned, but they are teeny tiny, and I want to just get them a little bit bigger, maybe to this size. That'd be really good. I think we can probably hit pan in Cup of Tea. Easy. This dent is, I think you can probably see it on camera, this dent is real. Maybe we can hit pan in Sparks Fly. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe. Mug cakes, I don't know. I think we could probably double the size of this dent pretty easily, actually. Maybe hit pan, I really don't think we will, but maybe. And I also want a really big dent in this pink shade, Pink Champagne. So they're my kind of goals. Yeah, hit pan in this, definitely. Get close to hitting pan in this would be really nice. And then making a bit more of a dent in these two with pans. That would be really amazing. So there you go, guys. That was my Pan That palette. Intro / part 1. Again, I don't like doing intros and I'd rather just jump straight into things, and here we go. If you did like this video and if you do want to be updated when my next update goes out, definitely like and subscribe because it helps me out a lot, and you do not want to miss this because I have a really good feeling about this. I tried to do a Pan That palette last year. Oh boy, that lasted about a week. So this has already lasted a lot longer than that one, and I'm feeling confident. Yeah, I'm really feeling confident. I really want to get love out of this. It looks banged up already, which I love. So yeah, for more panning content, for Get Ready With Me's, shop my stashes, all that good fun stuff, stick around and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.